I'm Pastor Al Detter,
And I'm Marie Detter.
and we want to talk for a few moments about the center, what it means to us, and why we support it. For me, it goes way back into the early 80s. I was on the original board of actually it was the Pregnancy Aid Center back in those days. And I remember it was just like a little mustard seed in those times. Lots of challenges and difficulties to solve. The money, we didn't know where it was going to come from. We knew there was a real clientele out there that needed the ministry. But in those days, we trusted the Lord so deeply, we had no idea this mustard seed would grow into the big tree that it is today. In fact, it's one of the premier ministries of its kind in our country. And then I often have to think about what if? What if this ministry wouldn't have been here for 4 decades plus? Where would life be? We lose so many children. This center has been here for people all those years. And when I see that, all the lives that have been saved, families helped, and crisis overcome, I'm so glad that we can be part of that ministry.
And personally, we have 4 children, 3 of whom are adopted. So this ministry means an awful lot to us. If we didn't have those 4 children, 3 of them would have been in question. Our lives would have been so different. The Lord knew we wanted children, and He supplied them, 1 biologically and 3 through adoption, and we're just grateful that He saw fit to give them to us. Our children are grown now. Our oldest is 43, the youngest is 34, and from those 3 adopted children come 5 of our 8 wonderful grandchildren, and I would hate to think what our world would be like if we didn't have them. So it's not just our children, but it's our grandchildren too that we can love and appreciate, because life was chosen. They not only chose life for their children, they chose life for future generations. And that really excites me.
Yeah. And I think about the staff here, the volunteers of the center. I've known many of them over the years. They are quality people, and they have helped so many people in our community. It's incredible. Again, only heaven will tell that big story. But in all honesty, there are times where Maria and I needed some help from the center. We came here. We were helped. We're pastors. And I just want you to know, the ground is level. It doesn't matter what your station in life is. We all need help sometimes. And when I think about Brenda, and I was her pastor for a number of years, and the staff and the quality they are, the love they have for the Lord, the love they have for people, they are there morning, noon, and night for people at all hours. And they sacrifice their convenience to some time to make sure people are ministered to. There's no way in the world we couldn't be here to support them in prayer and in finances. In fact, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say that whenever we come to the banquets, we always try to think in our own mind how much we're going to give
before we get there.
But by the time the banquet is over, that number has changed. Yeah. And it's always going that way.
Well, the reason is we are touched afresh every year. Mm-hmm. There's some spiritual surprise that happens to us about the stories that we hear, and we are touched afresh in our heart, and all of a sudden we look at each other and we say, well, okay, we're just going to up that and give, because it's such an incredibly important ministry. For those who are wondering, should I give something? Maybe they've never given before. Maybe it's been a while, especially as I think about this COVID situation. Giving is down across the boards in all churches and ministries like this. There's a great and crying need, because the need doesn't go away through COVID. In fact, it might even get greater. And so our hope is that if you've ever wondered, should I give to a ministry like this, you cannot go wrong, because you are helping people who are desperately in need of help. And when you choose life, you will never be sorry. So my encouragement is to be as generous as possible to a ministry that's thriving and helping people all around our region.